everyone. This is Henny Espinosa with Justice Foundation. Today, we are joined by a young lady who took matters in her own hands when she saw a great need in the community. Taylor McCowan with the Confident Girl Project. Thanks so much for joining us on Just Wish Foundation, Taylor.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Taylor, tell us a little bit about your upbringing and how volunteering in the community was kind of always a big part in your life growing up.
My mom and my grandparents are very, very giving people. My grandparents act in their prison ministry at their church, and my mom has always made sure to instill in us that we have to give back to the people that are around us in our community. And so from a young age, I'm a Girl Scout as well. So from a young age, I always was feeding the homeless for Thanksgiving or Christmas, as well as I Sunday morning church feeding the homeless. And just having that instilled in me from the moment I was born allowed me to see the need for more feminine hygiene products, as well as more food and more laborers in community service. I also now volunteer at a food pantry for my school. My internship is a food pantry. So being able to see the need is what really inspired me.
Why would you say there is such volunteering is such an important thing, especially for young people? Why is that?
I think it's so important because it lets you step back from putting yourself first and put another person in front of you and see their needs as something that is also important, and seeing their needs as something that is also something that should be taken into consideration. So even if you don't plan on being a public servant in your main career, having that background and having that thought process and sympathy and empathy for those people help you in any career choice that you choose to, and in life in general.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's great too that you kind of you saw this from your own parents. You saw this from your own elders, from your, from the community. You witnessed this. You grew up around this. And so it was natural for you to take this on yourself. So let's talk a little bit about your experience with the homeless community. How did that leave an indelible mark in you? How did that make an impact in your life?
It made an impact because I live in Dallas, Texas, which has a really big homeless population. So I saw homeless people probably every day, where if I went into the city, I would see Tent City or I would see City Square. And it just showed me that these are human beings. These are people that need to be taken care of. And I have a family full of people who are loving and caring, and we take care of our people. So seeing people that don't have the same support system around them makes me want to help. And especially homeless people that are around me.
There's a lot of causes that really center around homelessness, and they provide the immediate needs, whether it's toiletries or food or clothing, but there was one need that you felt was missing. So tell us about that.
Oh, okay. So I saw this need doing feeding the homeless at my church, and we would give out little sacks of food and little things like toiletries every once in a while, or it would be normal for them to have little sacks for them to take. But I saw so many women that were there that were not, that I was like, okay, y'all are giving shampoo away, but what about your period? What about feminine hygiene products that people need? And that's when I really saw the need, because I was like, y'all are giving out shampoos, lotions and stuff, but what about periods? What about pads? What about sanitary napkins? What are the women are going to do?
And there was nothing. What was the answer to that?
The answer was making kits for the women.
Yeah. So you took matters in your own hands and you were like, wow, so no one was giving this away. This was a great need. This is a very basic need for women. And I think, when I first heard about your story, I was like, I've never heard about this, but you know what? It makes perfect sense because, as I think unless you're a woman, sometimes you don't really think about those things. And how important that is kind of to your self-esteem, to your confidence. So let's talk about that. Kind of how you were able to connect providing kits for women, providing menstrual kits for women, to their overall kind of well-being.
It started making sense to me. It's another reason why it's called the Confident Girl Project, because when you are comfortable, you are confident.
Mm,
And that was our main statement of the entire project, is comfort equals confidence.
mm,
Because a woman who is not comfortable in her own skin or with her own like physical hygiene will not be confident. She will
mm.
not be able to go into spaces and be her true self because she is not clean, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was what really showed me it, especially because I go to an all-girls school. So seeing girls that would miss class or would have to beg other girls around the school to see if they could get pads and stuff, I saw their self-esteem go down
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
day-to-day basis. And
Mm.
so knowing that without those proper feminine hygiene, you can't be comfortable, you can't be
Yeah,
confident.
for
And that's how
sure. I grew up in an all-girls school too. I went to an all-girls school from elementary to high school, and that was kind of always a big deal for us. You know, when you're coming of age, when you're becoming a lady, you know. And so I can't really imagine what it's like for others who they don't talk about it comfortably. They can't talk about it comfortably. They can't ask for help, and what it does to a young girl's self-confidence. And I'm glad that you're stepping up. So tell us how this started out and how it ended up in an actual organization, like how you really formalized this what started out as a project became like a very big organization. So tell us about that.
It started off as my Girl Scout Silver Award in middle school, and it just was a one-time thing. I just did 100 kids, and when I got to high school, my junior year, I did it again as a DECA project, which is a business club here at my school. And I did it as a DECA project, and sadly, I did not make it to state with my DECA project.
Mm.
Texas froze over that week, and I couldn't make it to state, and I was
Mm.
so devastated. I was like, okay, project over, like I'm upset. But then GoFundMe reached out to me and was like, hey, we loved your project, would you like to be a GoFundMe hero? And I that allowed me to grow and gain so much support from
Yeah.
my community and communities around the nation that were like, she saw the problem, she needs support. And so that allowed me to raise over $20,000 for the project.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it became a nonprofit organization. And I was able to bring my friends to like join my team and have like someone who manages the social media and like someone who helps with our business plans and stuff like that. And now we've given over 2,000 kits away, and we've
And
been
this is all over Dallas?
Yes, this is
Or
all
this
over
is wow.
It's all over Dallas and as well as the Boston area, because we were invited by the National Conference of OBGYNs to speak there. And so we gave out some bags in Boston, as well as we have family in Oklahoma. And so we've given out bags to their community too. And so just wherever our family is and wherever we can send bags, or whoever will take them, we will send them all over.
What have been the reactions like from the young girls, from the women that you have given these kits to?
That's my favorite part of this entire project, is just having girls that are able to be like, oh, now I have something that is mine, that I can be prepared for my menstruation. I can be prepared for what's to come and what to expect, as well as now I can take care of it. And it's really fun because even in my own campus, I've given out bags. So seeing girls that are like going to the bathroom with their little Brave bag in hand and knowing that they are now going to like take care of themselves is amazing. And as well as the facilities in the schools that I'm giving the kids to, they're like, no one has seen this problem and no one is taking care of it. And they feel so loved and taken care of when they get the kits. As well as when I get pictures from like other girls from especially Oklahoma, because my aunt worked at a shelter. She sent me pictures of the girls with their bags on them and like them smiling and them radiating confidence. It just makes me feel so warm inside.
Oh, I'm sure. Taylor, do you plan to, like, what's the big goal? Like, 'cause I'm looking at this kind of, I'm sure other countries, even other states, let's say, you know, just in the US, other parts of the world, this could also be a big problem. Is that part of your big vision that someday it will have a wider reach, this
Yes.
Confident Girl project?
Yes, it is. I'm going to college next year, so my main goal is to make it into a club or an organization at my college where I'm able to continue giving out kits as well as like with study abroad programs. If I know I have friends that are going
Hmm.
abroad, okay, take some kids with you. Like just being able to make sure kids are moving around the country and around the world is the main goal.
Yeah. And that's great if you even start a club or clubs, and then it gets it becomes more than a kit. It
Hmm.
becomes an opportunity for girls, for women to actually bond together and share common experiences together, and maybe lift each other up, empower each other. Wouldn't that be
Yes.
great? I think that's such an awesome goal. I actually found you guys through GoFundMe Heroes as well, and I was so amazed by. I was like, wow. And so I was going to ask you, has the community really stepped up to support you? Like, how do you feel that you have all of the support from strangers, from people all over the country? I'm assuming maybe other parts of the world too, that have come to know about your project and have really kind of related to it enough, felt connected to it enough to say, I want to be part of it. I want to help you.
Oh yes, especially in the Dallas Fort Worth area, people have reached out to me and been like, "Oh, I need to interview you. I need to hear more about this project." And the funds, they just keep coming in because people are like, "Oh, I want to support." And it just feels so amazing to have the amount of support that I have, especially from women in the community.
Mm,
It has
yeah.
been all my interviews have been with women, all not to say the guys aren't helping, but all my interviews have been with women and they are like amazed by it because they're like, you spoke about it. And it's such a taboo issue that people don't want to speak about that they're like amazed that me, a little 16-year-old girl, because that's when I started, I was like, I'm going to do something. And that's how I want everyone to feel about it. I want them to feel that if they see a problem, they can do something.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just it's Nike, just do it. Like, and you're going to get support, and people are going to be with you, and they're
yeah.
going to support. So yes.
So let's talk about that. Like when you want to tell people that if you see something that needs to be done, do it. So you become an inspiration now. I mean, I think not just among your peers, but truly to everyone. But let's talk about kind of among your peers and how you've encouraged other young girls to also step up in leadership roles and do their part in the community as well, even with just your project. Let's start with that. You were saying that you could, and now people are like, wow, we want to help out. These are your peers. Tell us what that is like for you to give other young people an opportunity to also make a difference in the community.
This project has allowed me to speak to a lot of young girls and a lot of women in my community and inspire them to try to do something.
Hmm.
And I know with one of my close friends, she is now helping out to make a community farm in her area because she saw such a need for having fresh fruits and vegetables in the Dallas Fort Worth area. So now she's like, Taylor, you doing this and having all your support, you helped me to start my Girl Scout project. And it just felt so good to know that girls are now pushing to get something done.
Yeah.
And I recently spoke at a STEM academy where girls were coming up to me and being like, oh, well, they said I couldn't do this, but I'm going to try to do it now. Or they said I couldn't have this program, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to speak to somebody else. And just knowing that girl, especially at my school too, as well, having some of my friends that are like, oh, well, admin said I couldn't do this, but I'm now talking to hire because I want
Hmm.
to have a project. I want to get something done
Hmm.
and stuff like, and it could be as simple as like, I have a friend who's now doing a field day at my school because she wanted the girls to be active and she
Hmm.
wanted the girls to have physical health. And I just
Different
feel so,
causes, but really the same goal of making a difference in the community, right?
um,
What would your message be, Taylor, to other young girls who have not found their confidence yet, who are still trying to figure out life? Maybe they're unsure, maybe they're not there yet, what would your message be to them?
There's a quote in The Alchemist. I'm not going to quote it right, but there's a quote in The Alchemist that is like, if you try to do something, the entire universe will come together to help you get it done. And if you have a goal, the entire universe is going to come together to help you get it done. And I genuinely believe that. I believe that if you are passionate enough about anything, you will get it done and you will build on that. And to find your own confidence, I feel like you just have to know what you're good at and know what you can try, and try as many things as you want to try. But once you have that thing that you're good at, no one can tell you anything. No one can tell you a thing. And I feel like that's the best thing about finding your confidence, because that's how I found mine. I decided I was good at public speaking and no one could tell me differently, even though I had some rough experiences.
Yeah.
No one could tell me differently. And art, same thing with art, because I'm really into art. I would just do things and I'd be like, okay, I love it. No one can tell me anything else. I love it. So just having your thing is what builds confidence.
Believe in yourself first, and the rest will follow. Yes. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, Taylor. You know, I like I said, when I saw you at the GoFundMe Heroes, I was really impressed, but I'm really even more impressed after I talked to you now. And we at Just Wish Foundation and our founder, Mr. Jack Wu, we really highlight and we make sure that you know, we give honor and we pay tribute to people that we feel are inspiring in the community, that are moving people in the right direction. And we truly feel that you are that, and you're fulfilling a need, and you're encouraging others to fulfill other needs in the community. So we would like to make a monetary donation, and we want to support you in your Confident Girl project. You go, girl, keep doing it, and more power to you, Taylor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Taylor. Bye.
Bye.